Chidi and his family lived on the banks of the great river Niger. Every dawn, his father would slide in the wooden canoe to go fishing and return in the afternoon with enough fish to feed them for days. But to Chidi, he was a stern man. He only saw the crack of his voice when he spilled water from cassava or woke them before sunrise. Young and foolish, he resented him, thinking he didn't even trust him to play under the mango tree near their hut. He didn't understand his father's sacrifice because he was still young. He thought that he only shouted at him. One afternoon, his brother pointed toward the river shouting. Kneeling in the sand of the river was Odunsi, their neighbor. In his hands, he held one of Chidi's father's fishing nets, torn and dripping. "Your father's net," he cried. Chidi stood frozen, staring at the empty boat gently bobbing on the river. He stared at the river bank with tears in his eyes. There was no sign of his father. His mother dropped on the ground, holding her head, even dropping his little sister, and fear like he had never known seized his chest. His father was gone. Neighbors rode in search parties night and day, but the river had swallowed all clues. Only broken canoe pieces and a single woven net washed ashore. At night, Chidi sat on his veranda silently, pleading with the river to give him back. But each dawn came, and the man who paddled out never returned. The villagers started murmuring, "He must be lost forever." Chidi's mother's soft wailing echoed through the night, and he only stood in silence, watching the skies for answers. Chidi and his siblings were forced to grow up fast. Their father had been the provider, and suddenly Chidi was doing his work. He skipped school and walked miles at dawn to the market, balancing basket of yam and tomatoes on his head. He felt every bruise on his feet. By evening, he returned with 100 naira, the entire day's earning, and gave it to his mother, who used it to buy corn and beans for the pot. Some nights, with only a handful of garri and water on the table, Chidi lay awake staring at the moon, wishing for his father's voice, a voice he once hated, now he hungered for. Each night, he remembered things he had once ignored, the way his father braided his sister's hair and had patience when she was sick, the night he surprised him with new trousers for school so he would not drop out, or the days he would give his mother fish at the market. Each memory sprinkled in his heart, and he realized how much he had taken for granted. Years passed, and he became the man he never expected to be. He worked on their little farm, helped haul nets by the river, and even learned to repair the roof of their hut. The neighbors began to call him young man instead of boy. On market days, he carried a small photo of his father in his pocket. When asked about him, he spoke proudly of his honesty and strength. In that way, he kept his memory alive among their family. One day, while Chidi and his mother was at the market, a tall stranger approached their table. He looked at Chidi's mother and fell to his knees, whispering, "It's been a long journey, but I have found you." Chidi and his mother fell to their knees. "Chidi, my son." The man dragged him with his thin hand. His mother hugged them both, shaking with laughter and tears. The neighbors gathered around, shouting in amazement. It took Chidi's father a while to tell them the story. He had been caught in a terrible storm on the river that day, but he survived. That night, their little hut was alive with joy. They sat under the mango tree, sharing food. His father's voice cracked as he told them how he had survived, weaving baskets for food, working odd jobs, and living among strangers, but never forgetting them. He held his hand and leaned his back against his shoulder as he spoke. He was home at last. Each morning, Chidi made tea, fried egg and plantain for his father. And in the afternoon, they rebuilt a small wooden bridge by the river. His father guided him and went to hammer each nail. Sometimes they stood quietly by the water, listening to the motorboat in distance. Chidi's father would squeeze his shoulder and just sit quietly beside him. Moments like this felt like gifts he would never take for granted again. But it seemed life had one more lesson for them. Not long after his return, Chidi's father fell ill. A fever that should have passed lingered for days. Chidi sat by his bedside, cooling his forehead with cloth night after night. One evening, Chidi's father opened his eyes and reached for his hand. In a weak voice, he said, "Chidi, I'm sorry I hurt you. I'm proud of the man you have become." Then Chidi burst into tears and held him close. "You are home now, father." Days later, Chidi's father passed away. In that moment, there was no regret in Chidi's heart, only deep, quiet love. They buried him under the mango tree, where they always sat. As they laid the earth to cover his grave, the priest said, "He is now at peace." And it was true. His father was now at peace. On evenings, Chidi would sit by his father's grave, remembering how foolish he wanted him gone, and how grateful he had to have loved him in time. He would whisper a prayer of thanks for each morning he wake, and he finally learned the hardest lesson of all. You don't truly value what you have until it's gone. Please like and subscribe to my channel, and thank you for watching.